Hey, this is Paul Jang. This is for land investing for beginners. How do you decide where to invest in? And I'm going to break down an overall strategy that I think will be very helpful for you. So, when you are buying land, you want to figure out what price point you're at. And so, everyone's going to be at different stages. When I started, we started in the, buying property for a couple $100s, right? So the most it could really be is maybe $1,000, $2,000. We're at a point now that we're picking up bigger property. We're looking at subdivisions and some other stuff in our business, but wherever you're at, whatever price point, from into the millions and all the way down to a couple $100s, everyone could kind of get going in this business and just starting where you're at. This is it's a business, but it's really kind of an investment, and you'll get a return much quicker than some of the other stuff out there, right? But I'll show you the process that we have. So I'll go to LandWatch. They've made some revisions here with like land.com, but I like LandWatch. There's different land listing sites that you could use. Lands of America, Lands and Farm. You can even look at Zillow if you want, but I would stick with LandWatch. So what I'd do is I'd click search, and I'll have to know, like, basically you have to know how much money you're starting with. So I want to pick up, five properties, right? With whatever amount of money I have. So let's say I have, $10,000. Well, with $10,000, I'm gonna have, if we break it up into five properties, that's about $2,000, right, per property that I'll be able to spend if I have $10,000. So two, four, six, eight, 10. Right? That's not even including marketing expenses. So the numbers you're gonna have to sway it a little bit, but let's just say we're gonna run with that. Well, if I have $2,000 to spend per property, then I'm gonna look at purchasing property for 2,000, but I'm gonna sell it for at least double that, right? Preferably triple or quadruple that amount. So if I pick up something for two, I want to sell it for four, six, eight, or 10, right? So I'm kind of looking at this price point between $4,000 and $10,000, right? And so what you're basically trying to do is, if you have $10,000 and you're trying to double it, right? If you pick up these lots, double it, you made $10,000, right? Because you went from 10,000 to 20. If you're able to triple it, you went from 10,000 to 30,000. If you're able to do it four times the amount, you went from 10,000 to $40,000, right? You're picking up property. If you go to four times, you are buying what is $40,000 worth of property at 10,000 bucks, so a quarter of its true value, right? So if we look between four and $10,000 in terms of selling prices, I'm looking at Florida, Arkansas, Arizona, Texas, California, Tennessee, Michigan, North Carolina, right? You might want to put a minimum in terms of acreage. I like to put at least one, but there's land investors that will do deals at point two of an acre, or point three of an acre, point seven of an acre. So if you're okay with working with the smaller acreage, that's okay. If you want to work with bigger acreage, that's okay too. And all of that will basically change out which states you're really going to work in. Now, ideally, I would say work in the county. Work in a state where there's a sizable amount of deals. So, like Alaska, probably not enough. Connecticut, probably not enough. But Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, these are all places that might be potentials for you, right? North Carolina, New Mexico, Pennsylvania. There's a substantial amount of places that you could go. And if you just adjust the price, I'd start with the price point first to figure out which states you're comfortable with. There's some land investors that almost all exclusively want to stay in the southwest region of New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado. They'll usually skip Utah, but There's other people that focus in Florida. There's land investors everywhere, right? And it's just kind of figuring out the place that you feel comfortable with, right? So I would try sticking, maybe closer to where you're at. So like right, we used to be in Texas, so 733. We moved a couple months ago to Virginia, so I have an affinity for Texas and Virginia, right? But North Carolina is not far away. Maybe I have an uncle in Michigan, and I like Michigan. It doesn't really matter. So like, I'm gonna click one of them. And so we have here, it breaks down the different regions where you could pick up property at this price point, right? And it breaks it down by city and county. I will try to go with county first. So we have here Gladwin, Wayne, Antrim, Wexford, Genesee, Macosta, Clare, Isabella, etc., etc. I'd probably mail and reach out to all these counties, but just so you get going, let's just look at one of them. Let's look at Wexford. This is off the cuff, by the way. I haven't planned on going to Wexford County, when I made this video for you guys. Uh, but usually, what I like to do is do price per acre low to high, and I'll see what comes out here. If it has some kind of person's name with their icon, then this person is paying for a subscription. It's not necessarily the cheapest ones out there. If it says listings from other sources, it's almost always going to be the MLS. So if you think about it, this guy is selling it for 8,000 for half an acre. That looks like a decent piece of property. It's got road access, corner lot, but between that and getting for 2.5 acres, 7,000 if it's got road access. Most of these realtors don't really do a great job with pictures, but it looks like this person did. I'm going to choose this 2 acres over the half acre. So what that tells me then, if I reached out to owners anywhere from it looks like one to this 1 acres for 10,000, right? Anywhere from 1 acre to like 3 acres. If I could pick something up, you know, for 3,000, 3,500, somewhere around there, 3,000, 3,500, right? Maybe 3,500 for like a 2 acre, something like that, right? But try to stay 3,000 or under. Well, let's just say you send out $2,000 to 2,500 for all the property in Wexford County. You will. And let's say there's enough mailers here. Let's say there's like 2,000 people that own property like this. You could probably pick something up. And if not, it's okay. You just keep doing the same thing. If there's not anyone in Wexford County that will take your offer and they'll be upset with you, well, hey, then you go to Antrim County and kind of do the same thing, right? So price low to high. Well, hey, for 5 acres, you could get something for $10,000. So that's 2,000 an acre. At the 1.39, it's 5,000. So we got here 2.34 acres is 9,900. Oh, that's waterfront property. 1.64 7,000. So if I, this is kind of showing me if I got a 1 acre, this 1 acre is for 5,900. If I got an acre for $2,500, I'm gonna be okay. For 2 acres, if I'm anywhere, like $5,000, I'm gonna be okay. Right? So yeah, this 5 acres is a little bit tricky. Not sure what this is, why it's so cheap. But you're kind of laying out between the information here, everything that's selling. If I got 2 acres, right, I am gonna need to price it at a point that's cheaper than 10,000, right? So really, I want to be at a point like where it's like a no brainer, right? Like if I'm getting two, I'm paying 3,000 for it. right? So I could be competitive with this guy and also competitive here. Because if I got 2 acres and this guy's selling, and I want to sell it for 10, well, they're going to go for the 5 acres first, assuming that there's road access and it's similar, right? So, um, if I got 2 acres, this has got to sell for closer to 6, 7, right? For me to really be competitive with what else, with what is out there. So if it's 2 acres, I got to buy it for 3, right? For a 1 acre, I got to be closer to like 2.5, right? And so, doing it this way, you could figure out like, this might be a little bit too competitive, like in terms of this price point, like the 5 acres, 10 acre, for 10,000, right? Because it seems like everything else is a little bit higher than that, right? So if you like that, then you check out Intrum in Michigan. If you don't like that, you take that out in your research and you go to another part in Michigan or whatever other state, right? So let's look at Gladwin. Let's actually do one other thing. Let's take out the acreage. Let's put at least 1 acre. Let's see what comes up. So if it's at least 1 acre, Wexford is you'll like notice that the price points change and the different types of counties will also change as well. So this is showing me at 2.7, 2.5 acres, it's at 7, right? So I want to be, oh, we didn't do this county, right? Um, you'll have to pick up a 2 acre, 2 to 3 acre for like maximum, 3,500, like 3,000. Really, you want to stay, what's 7,000 divided by 4? 1,750. Really, I want to pick up a 2 acre for 1,750. That's kind of where I want to be. If it's a 1 acre, it's 6,000. So 6,000 divided by 4 is 1,500. So I'd rather spend $500 extra mailing to 1,000 other people at this price point than, because if you think about it, okay, technically I could buy this for 3,000, try flipping it for 6, and then maybe sell it for 8, 9,000 with owner financing. But ideally, it'd be better for me to send out more mailers to buy it at the price point that I really want it at. Um, Even if it's an extra 1,000 mailers, right? 1,000 mailers is 500. 2,000 mailers is like that would increase my price to, my marketing cost to $1,000. But if I pick something up for 1,500, it's better to do that and then spend 3,000 or 3,500, right? So you kind of have to play with each county's a little bit different. Some counties will be okay with you picking up properties for a lot cheaper. In other places where it's a little bit more competitive, you'll have to do a higher dollar amount. Of course, there'll be some people that are like kind of upset with you, but people are upset with everything. So you're gonna have to be okay with that, offering property, to buy property at an inexpensive rate. If you're not okay with that, go to tax auctions, right? So that's the other option you can go and save your mailing costs. So that's it and how I do my research. This is kind of a good way to figure out what counties might, if you want to be with bigger acreage, or even with tax auction sales, like what are the counties that you might be able to pick up a property for really inexpensive, like in San Antonio, Texas, where I was at. My brother-in-law found a property that he was able to pick up for 20,000. He thought he could sell it for 30 or 40,000, but the lady that was going to sell him picked it up at a tax auction for $3,000. Right, 3,000. So, this person is going to sell it and make over $15,000 whenever she does that, right? But that's kind of the other way you can go about picking a property. It's a lot more time intensive. It's not as recommended if you have a job. And so, I kind of think keep things simple, just direct mail and reach out to owners without you doing it yourself. But that's in the course. If you are interested in picking up a course on how my wife and I were able to quit our jobs, check it out in the description below. Otherwise, subscribe and like this channel, We really appreciate it.